Hey FlossTube, Ashley here, Boogie Stitcher on YouTube, Schleezum_Boogie Stitcher on Instagram, coming to you guys with the mid-year WIP parade. So last year we had a giant WIP parade. It took 3 parts, approximately 45 to 50 minutes a piece, and I have like double the amount of projects. So we're gonna try and go quickly, but not so fast where you don't get to see anything. So I'm gonna try and kind of go quickly, not talk about a ton on each project, just because we got a lot to squeeze in. If someone wants to count for me, that would be awesome. You don't have to, but I'm pretty sure I have almost 200 projects. If I run across a project that hasn't been started, I'll just show you the pattern really fast because I have kind of everything in my stash ready to go and show you. We have lots to go through. Quick couple of disclaimers / bookkeeping. So disclaimer. So it has recently come to my attention that some of the stamped kits are not washing, the ink is not washing off, the ink is not water soluble. That seems to be happening on the 16 count, the 18 count, and the 9 count stamped kits. Now if you get a 14 count from Joy Sunday, that should work, and we will be testing out 14 count in the new style of stamped kits. However, the 11 count is just fine. It washes out totally fine, and 99% of my stamped kit stash is 11 count. I will tell you if it is not an 11 count and if it's something smaller, but if I don't see anything, then it's 11 count. So there's a quick disclaimer. It's not all stamped kits. Most of the 11 counts, or at least all the 11 counts that I have, are just fine. It's just the 16, 18, and 9 counts, and some of the 14 counts, maybe. We're gonna test out the 14 counts here shortly. So there's a quick little disclaimer, and again, if you want any information about any of these projects that I'll be showing you, leave a comment down below. I'm happy to talk about it, let you know anything. I'm an open book, so if you have any questions, let me know. That being said, there is no particular order for this video. We're just gonna dive right in and try and speed through it. So, first project, I am working on the Treasure Island Mystery Cell by Owl Forest Embroidery. This one just came out, I want to say a month and a half ago. They release a new part every 2 weeks, and they have released the 3rd part. So I don't really have a good picture of what the pattern is going to look like because it's mystery and it's still coming out, but here's where I've gotten so far. So again, this is Treasure Island, and we got the house. I still need to fill in the house, the white stitches in the house, but the house is done. Other than that, the lantern, all of this section is done, and then I still need to finish the ship, which will go to about right here, and then there's a small little treasure chest down here, and then the border, and I think a little bit more sky. So the 3rd part is almost done, and they release their new part in this next Friday. No, not this Friday, next Friday, I think. So I still have 1 more week to finish my 3rd part. So there is that. Next up, we have a brand new start for me. You can't even tell what it is. So I'm gonna be using my phone to show you guys any pictures of patterns, like any of my counted patterns, because I keep a picture of everything that I do. So this is a bee pattern. I got this off of Etsy from Arena, it looks like. It's a counted bee. My husband is a huge bee fan, and this is where I've gotten to. So not very far at all, but that's okay. Actually, yeah, that's how it goes. I had to think. I put the blue on the top so that I wouldn't get confused on like which is top and what is bottom. So not very far. I just started that like just a couple days ago. Next up, we have my Pokemon. This is a free pattern off Labyrinth. I can't remember the name of the, like I said, if you want to know any information, I can let you know in the comments. So this pattern is counted. It's completely free, so you can join along if you'd like. It's stitched on 22 count Hardinger, and this I have changed a little bit. So this is my progress on this so far. it is going to be huge, so this is a very small start. So the pattern that it came with baby blue. I switched it to be a light green because I'm a green Pokemon fan. I've also changed any of my favorite Pokemon. I've changed to be holographic. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this in the camera, but there is Krennic in her hair, in the Fire Eevee's hair, and like puffy hair chest. So it is a little bit shiny. I don't know if you can tell. I can't tell. But here's the whole thing so far. Very tiny start in comparison to the start, and that's what you're going to see in a lot of the projects that I have. Is most of them are just started. That's what it is. Next up, we have a collab from Personal Design. They send this pattern over to me to review for them. It's a Harry Potter bookmark. I think it's absolutely adorable. I've gotten a pretty good start on it so far. I need to finish up the H. I've got all this done right here. It just needs backstitched, and then the cauldron, and I'm done. So this should be a pretty fast finish if I just get working on it. Next up, we have a HAED. This is Jasmine McGriffith, I believe is. I always forget her last name. I'm so sorry. Anyway, this is a mini D&D girl is what I call her anyway. That's not the pattern name. I think it's like 20-sided dice fairy or something. But here she is. And I've noticed specifically on this pattern that there's so much confetti that I get tired of stitching on it really fast, because I'll go to get one strand out and stitch 2 stitches, and then it's time to move on, which is so sad because I love this pattern, but this is kind of, I'm stuck here because of all the confetti around the eye and everything. It's just really hard for me to get into a groove. So yeah, I'm just kind of stuck on it. Every time I get it out, I'll stitch like 20 stitches, and I'm like, and I'm over the confetti, which I know every stitch counts, but that's kind of where I'm at. Okay, next up, we have a Joy Sunday. Fancy lady, pretty lady, whatever you want to call her. This is Winter. I love her, although I am sad that this pattern did not come with any beading, which I thought was so weird because all the patterns come with beading. But Emma has this pattern as a counted, not as a stamped, and she's got the beading, so I'm going to stitch some of it, and if I feel like it needs beads, which I probably think it's probably gonna need beads, then I'll ask her what the bead number is, and I'll just go from there. But so far, I've gotten all of this done, like all of her face, the back stitching on her face, and everything like that. And with stamp kits, it's hard to tell like what you've gotten done, so I'll be showing the back of a lot of my stitching, because it's easier to see what you have or have not done if I do that. If I can get her back in here. And get her back in the package. And I lost my needle minder. There we go. Okay. Next up, we have a project bag that I sewed up. And this is another Heaven Earth Designs. And I have not been working on my Heaven Earth Designs, my HAEDs. I don't have that much focus, and I'm interrupted a lot just with having little kids lately. So, you know, have a baby. So I just don't have the focus, time, energy to sit here and try and concentrate on a HAED. However, I'm not getting rid of any of them because I love them. I love my projects. It's gonna be stitched at a different time. So this one is here. And I saw Jessie Marie Does Stuff. I saw her finish this and it looked amazing. My only complaint is I wish this was a mini, but that's okay. I'm really liking it so far. I really love the pattern, and I love Jeremiah Kettner's artwork. So here's what I've gotten so far, just background basically. So last time I picked it up, I started working on this pink like leaf vine thing. And that's gonna be another pattern for my HAEDs, as I'm in background of like all of my HAEDs. So, but I really like this pattern. I will stitch on it. It's just, like I said, right now is not a good time to be stitching on Heaven or Designs patterns. They're just too in-depth for me right now. All right, next up we have one of my oldest HAEDs. I purchased this as a birthday present for myself, like way back when. This is Magic Study when it came out as limited edition. Dawn Marie on her channel, she actually has the newest version of this, which is like the rainbow version. And she's stitching it and has some pretty good progress on it. But that came out after this one, and I'm just sticking with this one. So this is my progress so far. And I was stitching this pretty like cross country, but I was getting lost, just being distracted and like having to look up all the time. So I started just filling in where like all my holes basically. So that way I can try and stitch it like close together, so I can pay more attention. Again, if Heaven or Designs, it's not gonna be touched for a while just because it's just not a good time. But I love this pattern. It just reminds me of my, it reminds me of my room. Like if I had a craft room, it's just like projects everywhere and then stop everything, don't clean it, just to read a book. I listen to audiobooks, but that would be me. I get distracted very easily. Squirrel! What was that? As you can tell by like all of these like progresses or lack thereof. All right, I have not started this, but this is a Mill Hill kit. Oh, honey. Okay. Haven't started this. My husband got me some Mill Hill kits for Christmas because I wanted to try them. Here's another Mill Hill kit that I have not started but want to. Super cute. And next up we have Tornado Girl, Midi Nocturne. So I purchased this. I think it's beautiful artwork. I purchased this because I have nightmares of tornadoes. Anytime I have a nightmare or not necessarily a nightmare, but a bad dream, I guess, I have a tornado in it, which is just bizarre. But this is just on 28 count even weave. And background. That's as far as I've gotten. And book sleeve that I made. I need to make more of them and bigger ones. I really like my book sleeves that I've made. Here's just a blank one that I don't have anything in it. And here's another book sleeve made by me. And this pattern is my very first started Mill Hill. It is the Flower Shop, I believe. Yeah, Flower Shop. Super cute, super pretty. So this is my very first one that I've started. Here is the top. I am stitching it on everything that was given. However, I think for my next Mill Hill kit, I'm not going to stitch it on this, and I'll stitch it on fabric instead. I think that will be my next thing, because it's really hard to stitch on this thing. Okay, next up we have one of my favorite HAEDs. You could tell by the progress started. So this is Treasure Hunt Bookshelf by Amy Stewart. This is the regular version. Now when I first started this project, I actually had the super size. Not super size, super max color. Not for me. I started it and it was like way too many colors. I couldn't, my brain. I was like, no, I can't. So I purchased this one and then I just converted what I had already stitched and started stitching it regular color. So you're not gonna be able to tell. It's just one part might have a little bit more colors than others. So here is where I've gotten to so far. This is probably my furthest along HAED that I have. I was stitching this Extreme Cross Country. Again, I changed my mind and started trying to fill in all of the missing pieces. So that's what all these threads are for, is I've parked them all on the second page and I've parked all these down to the page underneath. So this is 22 count Hardinger, 2 over 110 stitch. And it looks really good. I really like this pattern. Suki, the brown-eyed stitcher, she stitches this, and except she's way further than I am. I swear she's gonna finish it soon. And it looks great. I can't remember if she's on the, let's see, where is she at? She's on the second to last shelf. There's 4 shelves and she's in the middle of the 3rd. So she's really far. So if you want to see what it looks like, She's got supersize max color, I think, too, which is crazy. She's awesome. Okay, next up is my very first HAED purchase, I believe. This is mini, oh gosh, I just forgot the name of this for some reason. I can't remember the name. I just lost the name. I just had it. Now I just have to look it up because it's gonna drive me crazy. Mini Beloved. Jeez Louise, I don't know why I forgot that. Anyway, Mini Beloved, one of my very first purchases from Heaven or Designs website. I love this pattern. I don't know why. When I pick it up to work on it, I tend to get tired of it really quickly. I, again, don't know why, but it's looking really good. This is 28 count even weave on like a very light blue fabric. And yeah, I mean, it looks great. He looks awesome. I just, for some reason, I get it out, work on it, 100 stitches in, and I'm done. It's just, do you guys see a pattern here? I have something that's called Startitis. If you know, you know. You see something and you start it and then you're done. You're moving on to something else to start. Okay, next up we have another HAED. This is mini Morning Blue, I believe. Yep, I'll get him just a sec, honey. And again, I barely started this. This is where we've gotten. Not very far. This is on 19 count Aida. Not very far. All right, and we're pausing there so I can go take care of the baby. All right, baby's awake. We're gonna have some background noise. That's just the way it goes. Welcome to my house. All right, next up we have an RTO kit. So this was, I think, my first purchase for myself. Yeah, not knowing a whole lot about cross stitch, this was a terrible purchase. I love this pattern, but this has quarter stitches, half stitches, full cross. It has blended threads. It has metallic threads. It's on dark fabric, not gridded, and for a beginning stitcher, this is really hard. So it also has several different floss cards. So the key tells you floss card 1, number 14, and then you have to go and try and find it, and it's just really hard to follow for me. I will eventually get this done. I might have to start it over. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but this is my start. And yeah, this is just a really hard pattern for me. I love it. I love this pattern. I love the artwork of the pattern, but the actual pattern itself is really hard for a beginning stitcher. All right, next up, I don't have a picture, so I'm gonna have to show you with my phone. This one is a pattern made by me, and it's my Phoenix elf, or my elf Phoenix girl. This is stitched on 19 count Aida, and yeah, I like it. It's just, again, 100 stitches and I'm done kind of thing. So I'm still in the background. So we will get there eventually. I've thought about restarting this on different fabric to make it more enjoyable to stitch. But I'm already like a couple thousand stitches in, and that's really hard for me. Although that's normally the time where I want to restart. Normally the time where I want to restart something is when I get about 3,000 stitches in, and then that's normally my stopping point. All right, next up we have my husband's first purchase for me. He purchased this one for me when I first got into cross stitches. Neuschwanstein Castle. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. Beautiful pattern. I'm starting over here, so I'm about to like right there in the pattern. So still background. So when I first started stitching, I had everything on the little DMC like bobbins. And then I switched my entire stash to be in floss bags, except for what I have. Each pattern was kitted up. I kitted each one up. I then started to realize that's too expensive. I can't do that because I was starting to get a lot of HAEDs, and yeah, I can't afford to have everything kitted up. So I switched everything back to only just using my main stash that I have on floss cards, and got rid of all the floss bags. And then I started to find that I didn't like to get out my full stash just to stitch on a HAED. So then I learned that you can split a DMC. You don't have to use the whole DMC like skein. For one pattern, you could split it in half, so you have, you know, colors here, colors there. So I'm slowly starting to kit back up my projects that I work on most often. I find that I tend to work on them better, or like more, if they're kitted up themselves. So as you can see, there are some holes, which is probably why this one hasn't been worked on, because if I have holes, then it's harder to stitch. All right, this is 18 count Ada, and again, I'm almost to the castle and the mountain, just working on background. This one I started full cross, and then I switched it over to tent. So the first page, which is right here, is all full cross, and right here is where I switched to tent stitch, and you can't tell. You can't tell, and I've done this to pretty much all of my patterns, where I started full cross, had good intentions, and switched to tent stitch because I was like, this is not working. Not going fast enough. So that is it for that one. Go back in the bag. There we go. Okay. Next up, we have also one of my favorite HAEDs. This is, what's the name of this one? I don't remember the name of this. I call this my book girl. Or book fairy, you know, whatever you want to call her. She's gorgeous. I love Nadia's work. And this is a mini. And this is where I have gotten to. Great progress so far. You can see the tips of the castle. They look amazing. And the shadow of the woman is also amazing. The horn. The horn's like right here. And there's like the tip of the dragon wing. So I just need to work on it. I love this. But again, my HAEDs, I'm really struggling with my HAEDs. And having focus to be able to work on them. Sorry if I sound like a broken record, but that's just how it is with all these projects. And here's my book bag that I sewed up. Next up, I need to grab a picture for you. Pattern picture. So here is the pattern. My husband purchased this for me, Hogwarts in a Bottle. This one was really hard. I just recently started this because I couldn't get it into Pattern Keeper. It has blended threads, tent stitch, and full cross. So I haven't gotten very far because I just got it into Pattern Keeper. I just got the corkscrew almost completely done. This is stitched on 14 count Ada, it looks like. Awesome pattern. It will look great when it's done. But as again, I am still kind of a beginning stitcher. I haven't done a whole lot of complicated stitches. So yeah, this one's kind of slow go for me. All right, next up, I need to get a picture because I've lost the pattern picture for this one. And this one is my warrior girl. This is an 11 count stamped kit, and I actually pulled her out last night. This is my second attempt to do this video, and I showed her on the video, and I was like, I need to stitch on her. So I got her out and started stitching. So here she is. Of course, I have the needle minder like right on her forehead. All right, here she is. So there are still a couple random stitches that I need to finish in her face. but not very many. She's, for the most part, her face is done. And I just started more on the background when I started stitching her. And I just converted the background to 10 stitch. So up here is where it's all full cross. And then this gray I started switching over to 10 stitch. Again, you can't tell. Looks awesome. If I hold it up really close, you could tell. Right there is where the switch is. But if I hold it back here, you can't tell. And I'm switching most of my stamp kits over to 10 stitch because it's easier to stitch. Okay, next up, again, have to show you the pattern on my phone. I keep a picture of all my patterns in my phone under a stitching folder. Works out great that way. This one is In This House by Print and Decor. This is a Harry Potter pattern, basically just all, in this house we solemnly swear we are up to no good because we are members of Dumbledore's army, as brave as Gryffindor, as intelligent as Ravenclaw, as loyal as Hufflepuff, as cunning as Slytherin, and together we have something worth fighting for. We have become the masters of all the Deathly Hallows. We know the answers can be found on page 394. We remember that happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, and in this house we always do Harry Potter. So I'm stitching this with Emma, although she already finished hers and it looked awesome. Excuse me. So I am switching this pattern up. This pattern is supposed to be all black, minus some footprints and like the always symbol or the Deathly Hallows symbol. I am switching I'm switching all of the main words to be a different color. So Dumbledore's army is in blue. I still need to finish outlining it. Gryffindor is the Gryffindor colors in the stripes. Ravenclaw, Slytherin. So pretty much every line will have like a different colored word. All right, next up we have Hufflepuff. I don't have the picture handy with me right now, so I'm going to put it up here. There it is. So Hufflepuff. And I have all of the dorm rooms now. I still need to unbox the Slytherin one. But I am stitching this with Rena. Let me see her Sparrow's Stitchery on Instagram. She's stitching this one with me, and here's where we are so far. Let me take the hoop off really fast for you, so it's not like right in the middle of the pattern. This one I'm stitching completely 10 stitch, and here's the progress so far. Looking really good. I'm excited to get down here and start doing the plants. I did a little bit of the green so I can start to see. But the hanging plants, I really like the hanging plants. And here's the back so you can see what I've stitched so far. Next up we have my daughter's owls, which I need to work on. She's looking, she's like, what? Here it is so far. I would probably stitch on this if the stamping was a little bit clearer. It's good enough to stitch on, but sometimes it gets a little bit confusing. So here's where we're at so far. I'm gonna have to pause in just a sec to take care of Teeny Tiny. But here is the owl. And then we have the middle owl right here, and that's all that I've done. I have done a little bit of background up here, but it's hard to tell because it kind of blends in. So here's where I've done. Okay, next up we have a pattern that I haven't started yet. I unboxed it, but I haven't started it. And I haven't started some of my unboxings. This is just Cinderella's carriage. Very pretty pattern. The colors are also very pretty, but I haven't started it yet. Next up is Evil Stepmother from Cinderella with the cat and the silhouettes of the mean stepsisters and then Cinderella. So I started this pattern right before I discovered 10 stitching on stamped kits. And so I kind of stopped. So here's the whole thing. but I've only done the silhouettes right here, and that's it. So not very much at all, but I'm gonna convert this one over to 10 stitch since it's significantly faster and I love doing it a lot more. All right, and we're gonna pause right there so I can take care of the family, and I will be back shortly. All right, next up we have one that I haven't started yet, and that is my cottage. This is the cottage that I have that I don't want to start until I finish my cottage that I'm like 3/4 of the way done with. And honestly, I'm so close. I don't know why I don't finish it, but I don't know if anyone else does that, where they get so close and they get burnt out. But this is the cottage that I'm going to start after the cottage that you will see later in the WIP parade. Okay, next up we have a custom made kit. So I thought about remaking this custom kit to where it's not 14 count. I'm just not a fan of 14 count stamped kits. The stamping is too small, the fabric is too stiff. I don't enjoy working on them. So I had this made. It says, I'd rather be at Hogwarts. And it's like a snowy scene with the castle. And these are actually like rainbow-y colors. Super awesome pattern. I got it from AliExpress. I just don't like the 14 count. So this is a 43 by 73. So it's fairly large. So here's the whole thing, and here's what I've done with it, because I just don't like how small it is. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm still deciding on if I want to like have it remade as an 11 count or if I want to just keep trying to stitch it. I don't know. I just don't know with that one. Okay, next up we have one that I got right before stopping doing collabs when I was pregnant. So we have this one right here. It's a night scene Bilbo Baggins house. And I barely started this one. I started it, like I said, right before stopping stitching. I don't stitch when I'm not feeling good. And of course, pregnancy, you're not feeling good. So here's the whole thing. And this is how much I've done. Not very much at all. So, yeah. I like this pattern, I just haven't started it. Oh well. Okay. Next up, we have my Alice in Wonderland silhouette. Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite movies. So I really do like this one. But it's definitely going to be a good one to do 10 stitch on. I've barely started this one. I started at full cross, and here's as far as I've gotten. At least I did the Cheshire Cat, so there's that. But yeah, the whole thing is this. And so this is all full cross. I'm just going to convert it to 10 stitch and keep working on it. I actually, I haven't unboxed it yet because it hasn't come, but I just recently ordered from a collab another really big Alice in Wonderland piece. I said, one of my favorite Disney movies. I used to not like it, which is funny how your like tastes change, but yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites now, at least. Okay, next up we have a colorful version of the Weasley house. Love this one, just haven't stitched it. I think I did the stitch with me and that's it. I think I pulled it out one other time and then just didn't. Yeah, so sad. Some of these are so sad. This is all I've done. What the heck? Like we tell the kids, what the heck, you baby? I don't know. Oh, the whole thing, sorry. There we go, here's the whole thing. The stamping is good. It feels nice. I just haven't worked on it. I think I just kind of forgot about it. So sad. I need to have like a good rotation. I need to start a rotation. The problem is like if I pick something to stitch on, then I won't want to stitch on it. Like, or if I make any sort of rules or anything, I like instantly lose interest. It's really bad, but it's what it is. All right, next up, we have a pattern I have not started. So this is the Seaside Lighthouse by Joy Sunday. My husband got this one for me. I really love lighthouses. I love the beach. I love that you can see the waves are like translucent looking right here. Just haven't started it. I need to. It's really pretty. All right, next up, we have my Halloween owl. Or witch. Looks like he's got the sorting hat on, kind of. Haven't started this one, I don't think, like at all. Oh, I did. It looks like I did like a stitch with me with it. So here's the whole thing. This would be such a quick finish, but yeah, it's only a 40 by 40 and it's not full coverage. So I don't know why I don't just like jump on it, but here's all that I've done. Like, I don't know, 20 stitches maybe. It's really soft fabric. I should work on that this Halloween. Here we go. Future note to Ashley. Work on that during Halloween. What, honey?
This thing makes me want to go trick-or-treating.
That would be cool. All right, here's another one that I haven't started. I got it out to start and then I just ended up starting something else. So my husband also got this for me. Joy Sunday. And isn't that owl just awesome? I think I'm also gonna start this one like in the autumn because it's really pretty. It's called Day and Night. And yeah, it's totally an autumn feel type of pattern. So again, note to start this in the autumn. Okay, what is next? Next up, we have a pattern that I just decided to scrap. Here's a UFO. Like I said, these videos are not organized at all. So here is a Heaven Earth Designs pattern. This is Poison Garden. I love this pattern. She's absolutely stunning. You know, the background is beautiful. I love the flowers and the skeletons and stuff. I dyed my own piece of fabric for this, so I wanted to stitch a full coverage on dyed fabric, so I did that. I also did that because I wanted to use less threads on this. This is a 22 count even weave, and if I dyed the fabric, it like the coverage is a little bit better. So here's where I've gotten to so far. And I also started her hair over here. And I'm just not feeling it. I think this is one of the scenarios where I really love the art and it'd be like a really good picture to hang up, but it's just not one that I feel like stitching right now. Maybe I'll start it again later, maybe not. So I'm actually gonna reuse this piece of fabric for a stitch along that Abby and I are going to be doing, you know, like all of the other patterns that we're doing together. We just purchased a stitching Quaker. Let me, where's my phone? There it is. Let me pull up the picture for you really fast. So we just got this one. And I'm going to stitch this on that piece of fabric. So super pretty. And it'll work perfectly with this. And I'm gonna stitch it using 3865. So I have this big hank right here. And I'm gonna stitch it like that. I think it'll be really pretty. So this, unfortunately, is being UFO'd. Sorry, I love you, but moving on. All right, next up, we have my very first, I think this is 18 count. I think this is 18 count. My very first time getting an 18 count stamped kit is this Rose Garden right here. Super pretty. But the stamping is pretty hard for me to see, and you think I have a hard time with 14 count. This one's really hard to look at. I think I could probably do it, but I don't know. I started this one 10 stitch. So there's the 10 stitch. This is 3 strands tint. I'm sure it would look beautiful. But also, you know, with the whole 18 count not washing and stuff like that, I might just have to kind of scrap this. Just because I don't know if I'll ever work on the 18 count. Maybe I will and hope for the best, since a lot of these colors are fairly dark. Or maybe I'll just dip a corner like the picture right here and see if it washes out. But yeah, definitely not one I plan on stitching anytime soon. Just because I just don't like 18 count stamped kits. I love working on 18 count for counted, but not stamped. It's too hard to read. And the whole point for me of getting stamped kits is so I don't have to use a pattern. I just stitch whatever I see, which is really nice. It's really good for the brain when you're tired. Okay, that's it for that container. Now I have another really big container that I'm going to be showing you guys, and then that will be the end of part 1. And I don't know if it's going to be a 1-part, a 2-parter, or a 3-part series. It all depends on how fast I can get done doing all these. But I have a pretty big container here, so we'll just see how much we get to. Next up we have this silhouette right here. I love the silhouettes with like the single tree. I just, for some reason, haven't stitched on it. I think I only stitched on it for the Stitch With Me, and that was it. So not very much at all. This was also when I was first starting out doing 10 stitch. And I think I was kind of a little unsure about it. So here's the whole thing. And the only thing I've done is that small little piece right there for the Stitch With Me. So not very much. Yeah, pattern. This happens a lot. This one is a really good stamped kit. As far as like the stamping is really nice. It's a 36 by 46. So again, if you guys want to know any details on any of the pieces that I'm showing, just leave a comment. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. These videos would be super, super long if I spent the time to go through every detail like I've done in the past, just because I have too many now, so. All right, next up, I have my dragon bag that I got from Dawn Marie. She sewed this and it ended up being the wrong size or something, and so she sent it over to me. I love this bag, it's beautiful. I have my Jasmine Beckett Griffith pattern in here, and this bad girl. And I haven't gotten too far on this. I just started on the background, and I actually decided that I'm scrapping it. So this is a piece of 19 count, I believe, and so up here, I had started a different pattern, changed my mind. As you can tell, I do a lot. And then I started stitching the background. And I actually just recently unboxed a stamped kit with this on it. It has some like writing and stuff up here and on the bottom. But I'm gonna keep off all the writing and just do the stamped kit of her and see what I think. And then decide if I'm gonna keep doing this pattern or not. And actually, I lied. This is 18 count. This is 18 count, not 19 count. Anyway, so here's the start. And my Heaven Earth designs are all very sad lately, so. Putting it aside. But I do have it living in this beautiful bag, and I think I'm gonna put the stamped kit version of this in here as well. Because it's my dragon bag. It's got to have a dragon pattern in it. So that's what I gotta do. One sec, gotta get this back in here without ruining anything. But yeah, this bag is beautiful. So It's got like all your little like bobbin holders right here. It's got little pockets. Super cute bag. Okay, next up we have one I actually haven't started. So this is a unicorn and her baby, and super cute. Just haven't started it. Next up we have another one I haven't started. Sorry, crinkling. This is my sea turtle that I got. Super cute. Haven't started it. Next up we have Gryffindor. Haven't started that either. I have all of the dorm rooms now, and I've started Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. Those are the only ones I've started so far. But haven't started this one. Next up we have one that I got for the nursery for the baby, but of course haven't stitched very much on it. So this one doesn't have a pattern picture, but you can easily see what it is. So you got like some teddy bears, a puppy dog and a hedgehog and an owl sitting just like hanging out. So super cute. This is 14 count. So, and again, I'm not a big 14 count fan. Oh no, excuse me, this is 11 count. I think it's just a different type of kit that I'm not really used to. So this is 11 count. And all that I've done is just right here in this corner. Definitely need a stitch on this and just convert it over to tent stitch. And get it done for the baby. Alright, next up we have another pretty lady. No, this is not Pretty Lady, excuse me. I just saw the Joy Sunday package and just assumed. This is my Merry Christmas owls. I started this last Christmas. I didn't get very far. My husband got this for me. All the little owls are adorable. Like I said, didn't get very far. I kind of started towards the end of the season, and all I did was his little hat. Just the red hat. Super cute though. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a Christmas stitch, and I'll convert it to tent as well since I started it full cross. But look at the colors. Aren't the colors super fun? Super cute. Sometimes getting these like pictures back into the packages, like, come on. That's probably what like most of my video is just putting stuff back away. But if I don't, it would be total chaos. All right, next up we have my stitching project. I take this on, or my camping project, not my stitching project. Obviously it's stitching. The pattern, because I take it camping with me all the time, it's gotten kind of ruined over the years. So bear with some of the smudging, but it's a cherry blossom tree with a couple of finches. I believe they're called finches, but they're super cute. And I've gotten a fair bit done on this guy for only taking it camping. So I've gotten some of the background done right here, and then I got the little bird, my chubby bird. It's super soft since I worked on it a ton, or like moved it around a lot, but here's the whole thing. Okay, next up we have a retirement. So this is a custom kit that I had created. I couldn't find this kit anywhere at the time. This was like one of my very first orders. This is 14 count, 48 by 58. The stamping of it was terrible. I had to have them completely restamp it, and then they sent it to me, and then they sent me the wrong colors, so then I had to get it done again. And again, I don't like 14 count. I'm not a big fan at all. So this is how much I've gotten done. But I just recently did a collab where I got this as an 11 count instead. So this is a complete UFO, and I got to take all the colors and take them off of my floss card that my husband made me. So here's the back of the floss card. If it will zoom, there we go. And then each of these has like a number 1 through 40. Why is it struggling? There we go. There we go. So it's got like engraved numbers and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have to unkit this and put these colors in my stash because this is definitely going to be a retirement since I now have it as an 11 count. But I will do that a different time because I don't have time right now. But that's retired. And then next up I have a silk kit that I purchased. This is an 11 count of the ocean. Super pretty. I love it when I can see the transparent part of the waves. That's like a huge thing for me. So I started this kit full cross. This is silk. Here's the whole thing. Not too big. I think it's a, yeah, 38 by 48. So it's a 30 by 40 plus margins. Oh, and there's the baby. I'll have to pause here in a minute. So I started it full cross. Realized that I can 10 stitch projects. So then I started doing 10 stitch with the silk and I love it. It makes stitching with silk so much easier. Doing the full cross makes your stitches look really bad, but doing the 10 stitch makes your stitches look really neat with silk. So here's my full cross stitches. They kind of look messy. And here's my 10 stitch. So much easier. So yeah, I really like this pattern. I need to finish kitting it up so I can continue working on it. And I forgot to put the pattern back in the bag. You don't want to lose patterns. Come on now. All right, we're about halfway done with this container. Let's see if we can do a little bit more. Here, I'll show one more and then I gotta go get the baby. Okay, I have not started this kit. So this is Watercolor Girl. Margaret Morales, I believe, is the artist of this. Super pretty. I just haven't started it. All right, and we're gonna pause there while I go get my baby. All right, baby's taken care of. Next up, we have this guy. As soon as I get it open. There. So I love all things coffee. And so when I saw this, I was like, yes, I have to have it because it's like an iced coffee and like a cat with a coffee and coffee cake. And yeah, anyway, so super cute. This isn't counted though. It's a 11 count counted. And so a lot of, there's like a ton of, this is all background that I have to stitch. This like cream color. So a lot of people suggested that I just start with the cream colored like fabric. And then I don't have to, because since it's like, it's all blank anyway, so I might as well just start with like a cream colored piece of fabric. So I think I'm gonna do that. So I gotta start this on a cream colored and just treat it like a counted, since it is counted, but like a better fabric counted project. All right, next up we have a 58 by 70. It looks like a big one. Okay, so this is a custom created project. This is my witch. And yeah, I haven't done a ton on her. I'm stitching this for my daughter. She really likes it. And again, haven't gotten a ton done. So here's like the fairy on top of her hat. So yeah, there it is. And the whole thing is huge. So there's the whole thing. And there's the little fairy that I've stitched. So not a ton. Yeah, I really like this picture, but I'm not like a big fan of the pattern, I think is like the problem, so. All right, next up, we have, what do we have? A bookcase that I've stitched up. I don't know what's in here. What is in here? Oh, this is this is a fairy, one of the Jasmine Becca Griffith patterns that I created myself, because all of her patterns are on the custom domain now and downloadable for free on her website. So I started this because I wanted to see, I'll show you the pattern really fast. And there's gonna be lots of background noise. Guys, kiddos. So this is this pattern. View PDF. View PDF. I made this pattern for Abby and I wanted to stitch up her face to see how dark it would be, because that's the mock-up, and then the mock-up on Pattern Keeper is significantly darker. So I wanted to stitch up just the face and for Abby so we can see what it looks like. And yeah, haven't gotten very far. So there's the start of her forehead basically. So not a lot. I need to stitch that up, but we've been stitching so many other things together that's kind of been put on the back burner. Okay, next up we have one I have not started, but my mom has the same pattern that I got for her. I got a kit and then I made a custom-made one for her. So here is the pattern. And my Nana wants to get one of these too, so we can all stitch it together. But again, I have not stitched it. Next up, we have another cottage that I refuse to start until I finish my first cottage. And then I can start all of the cottages. Here is this cottage. And it kind of reminds me of Snow White's cottage, but I haven't started it. I refuse to start a cottage until I finish my one. Next up we have another pretty lady that I have not started. This is Spring. Super pretty. I love all the purples. I do not think this one has beads either. Yeah, this one didn't come with beads either, even though most of these are supposed to come with beading. So we'll see. Next up we have another custom created kit. This is a Lord of the Rings. Alright, so this one I had created for my husband. He was thinking he was gonna try and stitch, see if he liked it, and he didn't really like it. He liked the idea of like doing something with me, but stitching wasn't his thing. So I gotta get this started so I can stitch it up and hang it up on the wall. We're huge Lord of the Rings fans, so, but not started. Next up we have my, I don't know, I kind of call her like my, I don't know, paladin girl, I guess. There she be. She's got like fire and ice. And so this is when I really learned that stamp kits, you have to look at things far away. When I was stitching up her face, I was so mad. It was not looking how I liked. I was like, this is a joke. Screw stamped kits kind of thing. Here's close up of her face. And I was like, there's no way. But as soon as I started, because I was like, why is there red in the nose, you know? But you pull it back and it looks great. So she looks awesome. I really need to get going on her. It's a 30 by 40. So the whole thing, here's the whole thing. And her face is beautiful, and so is her headdress. It looks really good. Just gotta get working on it. Okay, next up, we have this beauty. So I got this one. They accidentally sent me a counted. I started it, but I was like, no, I need the stamped. So they resent it to me. This is my very first, there was like 2 projects I tried 10 stitch on at first, and this was one of them. And I was like, oh no, this is a terrible idea. But the more I stitched it, the more I was like, okay, no, this is a good idea. So here, I did this corner right here. As soon as it like focuses, there we go. Here's the first corner right here too. And then I also started on her face. It was the last I did. So there's like the start of her eye. So I started her eye and her nose and the corner right there. So I need to get working on this now that I know that 10 stitch actually does work. You just have to, when you're doing 10 stitch on 11 count stamped kits, when it first gets started, you're gonna look at it and like, what the heck was I thinking? So you can see that the coverage is not very good. When you pull it back though, the coverage looks really good, and you can't see any space at all, and it looks amazing. But the more you stitch as tint, the better the coverage ends up being. It's just when you first start out, it looks like garbage. So keep that in mind if you're switching over to tint stitching for stamped kits. So yeah, this is one of my favorite patterns. I just haven't worked on it, kind of forgot about it, like everything else. Next up we have one of the only pattern pieces I have for Halloween. I have just that owl, and that's it, I think. But this is my haunted house, and I was originally drawn to this pattern specifically because it looks like the Death Eater's like symbol in the clouds. From Harry Potter, but yeah, I really like the style of house, and you know, you got the little pumpkins and stuff, so cool little Halloween pattern. I haven't gotten very much done though. So here is the whole thing. I've done this background corner right here, and I did the sky, because of course I had to do that part, the little like face. So, but that's all I've done. Not much. This is a really good stamped kit. It's very clean stamping. I do have some projects that I absolutely love the picture of, but the stamping is so bad that I can't, which sucks, but. All right, everybody, we've made it. Last pattern of this part 1. Before I show this one, I do have an announcement. So I just posted my 100th video on YouTube. I'm so excited. I can't believe I've been doing it for a couple of years now. It's absolutely crazy, and I couldn't do it without all of you. So we are going to do a giveaway. The giveaway will be a shopping spree. Not really a shopping spree, but you get to go on to One Day Saving and pick a pattern that you would like to have. And then, oh, hold on. Whoop. All right, I had to pause. So the giveaway will be, if your name gets selected, you get to go onto onedaysaving.com. You get to pick a cross stitch pattern, and I will send it to you. So that will be for the winner. For the contest, you have to be 18 years or older. Sorry, YouTube rules. You have to be able to provide an address, first and last name, an email address so I can send you the package. You have to be a subscriber, so make sure you are subscribed, because I think there's like 35% of people who watch me are not subscribed. And then to enter into the giveaway, in the comments down below, go ahead and post stitching. Oh, STITCHING. So stitching. So if you would like to opt into the giveaway, you're more than welcome to. Put in the comments below stitching. If you do not, then that's okay too. And feel free to leave a comment, a like, or just say hello. So anyway, so there's that. There's the giveaway plans. And here is the last pattern. Oh, the winner will be announced on my last WIP parade video. I don't know if there's gonna be 2 parts or 3, so you'll just have to stay tuned, I guess. Anyway, so the last stitching pattern is a Heaven or Design, Amy Stewart, of course. I love this stitching bookshelf. It is beautiful. I started stitching this by season. I haven't worked on it in a while though, because it's a HAED, and I just haven't had the brain power. But this is stitched on 22 count even weave that I coffee dyed myself. And so we have Winter down here. I had just gotten started on her body, and then I stitched all the way down to be able to find that. And now we are on Spring. So here is Spring. And that is it for the first WIP parade. We made it. Finally, there was tons of pauses. So sorry, but that's the way it goes. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Hopefully it wasn't too fast, but if you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I will get to all of your questions and or comments. So thank you all so much for joining. I really appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you all stay safe, stay warm, and take care. Bye.